how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 13 of the Keepers of the Flame League here on Ruthless SSF. The Holy Flame Totem character is amazing. I love this build. Not only is it, like I've said before, a skill that I've loved from the past, but using the weird, reflect, Flamewood support in the boots is pretty exciting. Kind of looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. The plan today is just to gain some levels. If I hit level 84, I could switch body armor, which will give me a ton of armor. I mean, it won't be, insane, but as you can see, I'm wearing very low armor stuff. Pretty much, the boots are okay. But yeah, no armor here, almost no armor here, almost no armor there. And we're at, 4k, and I will be switching to a base that has, 2.7k, I think, or something like that, which is going to feel incredible. I'm also going to change my Atlas skill tree a little bit. I'm going to spec in the cluster jewels. I don't know if it's going to be worth it for this character, but I just want to try it out. Because I talked about this at the end of the last video. I potentially have 9 or 10 points to easily move around, because right now they're basically doing nothing. And if I do that, I could maybe even do one large cluster and 2 mediums, which would be really fun. I never get to use 3 clusters on a character, so this might be my chance. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. Ever since I've updated to Windows 11, I've had so many random issues. A big part of my audio problems is coming from Windows 11. It keeps changing my settings on pretty much everything I have on my computer every time I turn it on again. It's pretty annoying, but I'm doing my best to keep it maintained. But yeah, mapping on the Holy Flame Totem character is kind of a dream. I don't really die to anything. I don't have to pay attention to basically anything either. And it just feels nice to you just put your totems down, the totems get hit, and then they make these projectiles that do insane damage. I don't know why I never tried Flamewood Totem in the past. I guess because it's not that great with Spell Totem. Even knowing what I know now, I would never use the support on a Flame Blast Totem or anything like that. But it seems to be uniquely good on Holy Flame Totem in specific, because not only does the Holy Flame Totem heal itself, but it just kind of has really nice AoE in terms of the projectile flies out very far. It's just not very good at hitting a widespread group of enemies, and the projectile actually does, so it's kind of a perfect little synergy. And like I said, the totem heals itself thanks to consecrated ground, so I don't know, it's pretty nice. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this feels in higher tier maps. I will say, it's kind of funny that this character dies in breach encounters a lot less than my Earthquake character does. But to be fair, that's just because that character is melee and this one's range. Every single time, I swear, I've said this every single league, but every time I go from a melee character to a true ranged character, it's just wow, you die to almost nothing just because of the fact you don't have to stand next to stuff. So with the run boss, you have to run away before it does the hand thing. It puts up all these little hand totems that explode for a ridiculous amount of damage. I kind of forgot he did that ability because on this character, I'm never even near the boss. He just kind of dies from 3 miles away. I've been playing now with these boots and Flamewood Totem for quite a while, or Flamewood Totem support, I should say. And the Flamewood is definitely staying on. I am keeping that on 24/7. I do not care. The boots I'm still on the fence about. They seem okay, but you have to give up quite a bit to use them. I will say, though, the 36% increased totem placement speed is a lot more impactful than I thought it would be, so maybe it is worth it. I'm not really sure. What I'll probably end up doing is until I actually get a decent belt or maybe a decent ring upgrade or something like that, I'll probably just switch back to my other boosts to be more defensive. But I'm not going to do that until I go up to red tier maps, because I pretty much never die on this character. Not only are the totems taunting, but they're also taking a percentage of the damage I would take. So I actually feel pretty defensive right now. Hey, Rage, I needed that. So they're going to stay on for now, but I think once we get to tier 12, tier 14 maps, assuming I go that high, I'll probably drop them then. I've run quite a few at tier 10s, and I'm having no issues at all. I do have 2 or 3 key rec missions saved up, so I'm going to jump up to tier 11s for a while just to see how it feels. Plus, I do have 15 city squares, and if you know me, any map that has 2 or more bosses is a map that I love. It just gives you so much potential for really good loot. Plus, I don't know. Plus, it's really just satisfying to, kill 3 bosses every map. I just really enjoy that. So I'm going to chill in reds for a little while, see how it feels, and maybe go up and try to push, tier 14 or something. But I don't really want to do that, because the tree I have right now only has, what? 88% chance for a map to go +1, which is a really bad idea to do that when you're in higher tier maps. You always want 100% chance for +1, at least, starting after you get your first 2 watchstones. So yeah, we're probably gonna chill at like tier 11, tier 12 for a little while. Sorry my voice is dying, but so far it feels great. And yeah, I keep saying it, but Flamewood Totem support is awesome. Go try it. I know it's only a tier 11 map. Oh my god, 28% quality. I don't know what I'm going to use those for, but it's pretty nice. But it just feels nice doing red maps with this character. I feel like with a lot of totem characters I've had in the past, they kind of like start falling off pretty hard in red maps, and this character just isn't. I have found 3 Arcanist brands this league, which is ridiculous. I've gone entire leagues without even seeing one. I have no use for it right now, but I mean, I guess I at least have them. I only have one singular scouting report, so I'm kind of like questioning if maybe I should go do a bunch of white tier maps and unlock a Kirek mission. But I just don't really want to. It's going to take so much time. I mean, I have what, like 2 unique maps done, if that? Yeah, I got 1 here and Maelstrom of Chaos. Oh, we got Twilight Temple. We have 3. Damn. Ah, whatever. I'm going to risk it. Please don't punish me. Okay. Alright, we got 2. Nice. I mean, obviously I can only pick 1, but hey, whatever. Obas is obviously not as insane as like Myokun, but the thing you have to give Obas is you actually get a gem box, and getting a bunch of free supports, especially this early in the league, is pretty substantial. I mean, I didn't get anything too crazy for my characters, but that's fine. Kirek actually just randomly gave me another unique mission, which is amazing. Now I don't have to use another, well, I don't even have one anyway, but I don't have to use another singular scouting report. That's another point on the tree, and I was feeling lucky, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to use all my fusings on my axe. And yeah, we have a 5 link. It's not a 6 link, but honestly, we don't even need a 6 link. 5 link is like the dream. And now I have 6 red sockets, and I just took the mastery for like an easy 2.5k armor for 1 skill point, which is a hell of a deal if you didn't know. Now, 11k armor may seem really bad if you don't play Ruthless, but like, it's pretty good. Honestly, 11k armor feels pretty damn good for that character. Obviously, my Earthquake character is not like super tanky or anything now, but it definitely is going to feel a lot better. I'm not really planning on playing that guy for a while because I really want to focus on this build and like make some currency and level this character up. But at some point, we will be going back to Earthquake just to do a bunch of boss content. And I dropped a Coward's Trial just randomly from a tier 10 map, which is insane. Like, I don't think I dropped one, like, the entire last league. I'm not sure if I had one the league before that either, but I started off with 40% XP. I did die once. There was a rare that had like invulnerability. And yeah, when there's like, like 50 enemies attacking, pretty hard to stay alive. But we did end up completing it. I got 30% XP, which is pretty nice. That map was pretty scary, gonna be honest with you. Almost died a few times. I did die once to an invulnerability pack, like I said. But I got this. Oh my god, what a rig. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was just in my inventory and I used an alch on it. Yeah, that is a good ring. I finally, after all this time, dropped a 5 link that is just a straight strength base, which is a pretty big deal for me. I decided to try and spend a bunch of money crafting it, because honestly, like, a 5 link will just help me so much. And you know what? It's not an insane 5 link, but it's definitely good enough. And now we get the 5 link, which will hopefully be more damage. So my damage right now, I mean, obviously this is just paper DPS, don't read too much into this, but 27k, but once we move over to our 5 link, we are sitting at a decent 28.5, which is not terrible. I mean, obviously, like, this is just a rough estimate of damage. This isn't super accurate. But, I mean, Holy Flame Totem is a pretty generic skill. Like, it doesn't have too many complications other than, like, penetration and the Flamewood. So the damage is roughly accurate. But the big news is, now I can drop this helmet. Sorry, I hit my cable there. Now I can drop this helmet and wear a real one. And even right now, I have 5.7k armor, and before I had like 3.5 or something like that. And that's without my totems. Don't forget, I get 1200 armor if all 4 of my totems are up. I'm never going to be like super tanky armor-wise. Like, I'm never going to have like 20, 30k armor or whatever. I mean, unless maybe I dropped a determination, that could be a consideration. But I highly doubt it's ever going to happen. But now that I can wear a real helmet, I can actually keep these boots on. Because the biggest downside of these, like, don't get me wrong, I want to use them. They're really fun. But not having any life roll at all was pretty brutal. And of course, we lost even more life because this has no life on it. I was considering exalting this, but it's too risky. It's already a pretty decent roll. It's good enough for now, so I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. But yeah, now I can upgrade my helmet, which will hopefully, like, the helmet will give me enough res so I can change my gloves. And then I can actually start getting some real armor, drop the belt, and get more life. Anyway, everything is looking nice now. I have a 5 link, and yeah, hopefully it's stronger now. Using what I had in my stash, the best upgrades I had were these gloves right here. I used 1 currency on it and got Unnerve on hit, which is pretty nice, some free damage. And this helmet's pretty decent. I now have 7.2k armor, which is obviously still very, very low, but it's like double what I had before. 4.5k life. If I ever find a real like belt upgrade, granted I'm gonna lose damage because of the global fizz, but if I get like a belt with like 120 life or something, we might actually break 5k life on this character, even with the boots. On paper, it doesn't really look like my character changed that much, but I can tell you it feels completely different. I'm even tankier than before, and oh, that's a nice shield. And my damage feels even better. I got another support gem for my Earthquake character, Urgent Orders, which is a pretty big deal. Lets me Warcry more often, which obviously is a little tedious, but I mean, that's like kind of the core of the build. And when you're playing slams, like, yeah, you have to click a lot of buttons, but you get a lot of damage. I hit level 84. I don't really have anything too crazy to put the point on, so I just took the Ellie Mastery, which is a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. I'm really looking forward to finally getting a Cluster Jewel. It's probably not going to be for a while, but once we get one, it's going to be amazing. I don't know if I'm gonna go with like having a large and 2 mediums or just get 1 medium and possibly a small. I haven't really decided yet. I think what would be the most fun would be actually going for like a large, 2 mediums and a small, or maybe even 2 smalls. Because there's definitely a lot of points on my tree I could change around because they're not that crazy or super efficient. I'm not saying like going all these clusters would be the right choice, but it would be really fun, and I very rarely have a character that can actually do that. I made a ton of graphs, and none of them were too crazy. I had 1 or 2 that were actually a bit of an upgrade, but nothing specifically like incredible to mention. I might end up like switching my first tree around a little bit. Hey, copper plate. What's it got? Sure. I might change my first tree to also farm Delirium when I do switch back to Earthquake, but I'm not gonna do that for a while. I'd like to hit like level 88 on this character first, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey man, as far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am level 84, 69% of the way to 85. This character is leveling up very quickly, and the changes in gear we made earlier on made a pretty big difference. Not only am I tankier, but we're also doing more damage, and I just feel like my damage is more consistent now because I'm not only relying on the Flamewood support. I am thinking about maybe trying out like LMP or GMP or whatever. It's kind of a risk because it does nothing but make the Holy Flame Totem itself deal less damage. But I think the Flamewood does so much damage that like it might just be worth it, but I'm just not sure yet. Considering I'm wasting like 1, 2, 3, 4 skill points that are basically doing nothing for me, pretty proud with how this character is doing so far. There's definitely a lot of improvements to be made. You know, I don't want to keep this belt on for much longer, but I just don't have another belt. It does give me a little bit of damage, but it's not that much. Getting Unnerve on hit was pretty funny. I'm not entirely sure if the totems do that themselves or if I need to start running like Stormbrand or whatever, but I'm pretty sure they do, but I could be wrong. The ideal setup would be to get fire exposure on hit, and then I could take like, you know, the fire mastery for even more exposure. That would probably be my biggest DPS upgrade. At least, you know, not counting like an insane weapon. But to be fair, my weapon is pretty good. The only thing we're really missing is cast speed, which I can't get on this weapon anyway. I mean, I could. No, I mean, not this one, but you know, I could get it on a wand, just not this one. But +1 all spells is really nice, and flat damage is really nice. I really can't complain. Sorry, my voice is dying. It is what it is. You know, it's starting to be winter now. You know, we're actually getting snow, which is awesome. I love snow. But yeah, it makes my voice die. Anyway, using a lot of currency. I've gotten a few deliriums, not too many. I have not yet found any clusters that I want to use. I do have an 8-socket physical damage one. I highly doubt I'm going to use it. But I mean, the more I think about it, like, I totally could for this character. Like, I mean, even just that one node right there is pretty good, so I might end up crafting on it later. But the main thing I want are the medium cluster jewels. The large one doesn't matter as much. Because if I can just get, like, I think the dream setup would be 1 projectile medium jewel and 1 totem. It might be better to go with 2 totems, but I think 1 and 1 would be better. but I haven't really looked at the keystones. I kind of like don't like to look at them because it's almost impossible to get, let alone one of them that you want. But I mean, imagine trying to get two. I'm pretty sure I've spent entire leagues using like 40 or 50 chaos and one jewel and never even getting like one of the modifiers I need. So yeah, I don't look, I just hope. In terms of my Atlas tree, I have blocked more mechanics. The only things unblocked right now are Heist, Blight, and Mirrors of Delirium. And I did take a little bit more investment trying to see more Delirium mirrors. Took a couple notes here. Also came up here and took the Paranoid Fixation just for pack size. Mainly want these tiny nodes that give you reward progress, which is a pretty big deal on Ruthless because it's kind of hard to get them up. I will tell you, if you've never done Delirium on Ruthless, the biggest downside is you don't actually get any awesome rewards popped up. It's always just the random like items, which is fine. We don't really care about that too much. We only care about the cluster jewels. I did think about coming up here and try to get unique clusters, but I don't think it's worth it. Maybe later on the league, but this character definitely does not need them. I did change one of my graphs. I am now using the glowing silhouette again. I don't really care about it that much. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it does some pretty decent damage, but the main reason I'm using this is just for the increased graph blood gained. I'm just trying to get as much graph blood as I can because I think it's my best chance to not only get gear for this character, but also to try and just get really fun Foulborn uniques to reroll into later. So far, this character's already done an amazing job of making me currency. It maps really well. I could definitely go to higher tier maps, but I want to stick to this tree. And if I want to use like, tier 14 plus or whatever, I have to use this tree just to have like, the Guardian nodes and all that stuff. And I just don't want to do that right now. Also, in terms of maps completed this league, we have 109 white maps, 120 yellow maps, and 153 red maps. League is going really well so far. It's kind of funny. I haven't really like done any boss fights or anything yet outside of like the quest stuff. We're one away from a Elder Guardian, two away from a Shaper. We're also halfway to a Cyrus fight. At some point, maybe next week or the end of this week, I am going to go back on the Earthquake character, especially now that we 5-link the axe. He's going to do so much more damage. And I'm going to focus on trying to get some boss stuff done. But I'm loving this character. I really enjoy playing it. And honestly, I don't know. I know some people, I've been seeing a lot of like hate for this league mechanic. Not so much from Ruthless players. Generally speaking, most Ruthless players I've talked to love the league mechanic. Well, yeah, I love, I just love Breach now. I know, like, some people are like, oh, it sucks, like, it's not a new league mechanic, they just updated an old one. I think that's a good thing. I actually hope that, like, once a year or once every other year, they update an old mechanic and make it better. Because old Breach was boring as hell. I hated it. It wasn't interesting. The only good thing about Breach was the fun uniques, and that was it. Now, every single map I go into, I'm excited and looking for the breach. So amazing change, and I love the league. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you putting up with my dying voice. And I'll see you tomorrow.